So now that the recording is going, I'm going to show you a few things and then I'll let you get started on your own. So it's super important that you watch all of the steps before you do this on your own, because if you start in the middle, you might miss something that's kind of important, okay? Kenji, did you have a question before you start? Oh, maybe. You'll be an expert. So now the first thing I want to tell you is I'm going to grab some things out of the bag. But it's very important, Rashad, that you don't dump everything out of the bag. Because if you dump it all out, you're going to miss pieces. So watch Mrs. Sampson put your bag down for right now. Just watch me, okay? In your bag, I'm going to show you, there are these long pieces of paper. They're not a full sheet of paper, but they're long. And then you have some small ones. Do not do anything with the small ones. You want to get out your 4 colors they're about a half size of a regular piece of paper. I just cut them in half. You should have 1 red, 1 blue, 1 pink, and 1 yellow. Go ahead and get those out now. Now notice I only pulled out those 4 and everything else is still in my bag. Do not take it out of the bag. If you already took stuff out of your bag, you might want to put it back. You just need these 4 pieces today. I'm sorry, I tried fixing my lighting because the sunlight, but it's still not that great. Okay. Good, I see that most of you have your 4 pieces. Jean, I know you're just joining us. We're starting our turkey project, your bag with your turkey, and we're pulling out our 4 pieces of paper, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 pink, 1 yellow, and they are not the small ones. The small ones are for later. Keep the small ones in there. So these are the ones that you want. So today, it's super important that when you're done tracing and cutting these, that they go back in your bag. I'm going to say that again. When you're done with these 4 pieces of paper, when you're done tracing and cutting them, they need to go back in your bag, okay? Now remember, the other pages are still in there. So I have a big brown one. I have a white one that has some circles and shapes on it, and then I have some small pieces. Those we're going to do later. Today we're just doing these. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with these. I'm not sure what Ellie's deal is. I'm sorry that she's barking in the background. Can everybody still hear me okay? Thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Probably just Mrs. Sampson's voice and then a bark. And I like what Rashad is doing. Rashad's getting his other papers put back in his bag so that he only has these 4. Now I'm going to switch my camera so that you can see the document camera. Watch and then do. Do not do anything until you see me do everything. Okay? If you start too early, you won't know what you're doing. So just watch right now. Now, I'm starting with my red. You do not have to start with your red because we're going to do the same thing to all 4 pages. You're going to take your hand that you do not write with. So Mrs. Sampson writes with her right hand, so I'm going to put my left hand on the paper. Now, your hand will fit better than Mrs. Sampson's because Mrs. Sampson, I don't know if you know this, but I have a very big hand. And you want to kind of spread your fingers out, but you don't want them to go off of the paper. Now comes the tricky part. You are going to trace your hand. So your left hand stays down. Your right hand, watch Mrs. Sampson. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to hold my hand very still. And it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to try to go all the way around all of my fingers. And I'm going to make sure I get all of my fingers all the way back around down by my wrist. Now, you may not see this very well, but in very light pencil, ooh, you can kind of see it. Do you see the little pencil lines? Okay, now I traced one hand on one paper. I'm gonna go ahead and do that for all 4 papers. So if you have space right now and you wanna try tracing one of your hands, you can go ahead and do that now. The trick is to keep your hand very still. If you move it, it will be harder to trace. And tracing is just light, so you don't have to color really dark. When we go to cut it out, you'll have to be very careful to try to cut out as much as you can on the line. So go ahead and do that for all 4 papers. Now I'm only going to do 2 because I need to model this for group 2. So you go ahead and do that. And I'm just kind of watching you trace. Are there any questions that are coming up as you're doing that? So you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see my hand traced on that paper. Ooh, my lighting is bad today. Kenji, do you have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead, bud.
At the bottom of our hands, do you want us to draw like a straight line connected to the other one?
Yeah, so Kenji is asking a really great question, and I'm going to address that right now. So if you're in a spot where you can stop and look, that would be wonderful. So Kenji asked about at the bottom where your wrist kind of goes off the page. Yes, Kenji, you'll just connect that with the line. It doesn't have to be a straight line, but yeah, you want to kind of close it off, kind of like where my wrist would end. Oscar, question.
We had to trace everything.
So you are going to do all 4 pages, okay? I just did 2. I did the red one and I did the blue one. You're going to do all 4. Mrs. Sampson's only going to do 2 because I need to model for my other students, group 2, for them how to do it. Once you're done tracing, you just cut them. So when you cut, I'll give you a couple hints about cutting. Go slow and move the paper, not your scissors. So I am going slow and I'm just carefully cutting out my hand that I just traced. Now, boys and girls, I've been cutting for probably 30 years, so I'm probably a better cutter just because I've been practicing more. Don't expect perfection, okay? When you cut out, go slow, try to stay on the line, but if you make a mistake and you go off the line, it's not that big of a deal. So you can trace one and then cut one, or you can trace them all and then cut them all. Whatever you have to do to get the job done. Your job today is to trace and cut 4 of your hands. 1 red, 1 blue, 1 yellow, and 1 pink. Ellie wants to cut out a hand too. That's why she's barking up a storm. She's in this stage right now where she just likes to bark. She doesn't need anything. She just wants you to know that she's there. Okay, so if you look at my screen, there is my hand, my red hand. Look, it's waving at you. Hi! Now, this is the important part. Be sure that this goes back in your bag. So I'm going to put it right in there so I don't lose it. The scraps can get thrown away. Now, I just want to check in on everybody because I know many of you are just busy working. Is anybody having troubles or does anybody have a question? The people who have their videos on, I can see you guys cutting and tracing and stuff, but I'm more worried about like Haley and Zoe and Harper. Hopefully they're doing okay too. I can't see their, oh, there she is. Okay, Zoe's cutting, good. Haley, are you there? I think Haley's having technical difficulties. So you're going to do that for all 4 colors. Just so you know, do you know what this is going to be for your turkey? What's it going to be, Harper? Do you know? Go ahead, Harper.
I have a different question.
Go ahead, Harper. What's your question?
I didn't get it yet, so my mom's gonna pick it up tonight, and then we're gonna listen. They're gonna do it tonight.
Yep, and Harper, you might not even need to listen to the video because you're watching Mrs. Sampson do it too. But I will send the video out on Seesaw so other people can see it too. Okay, no big deal, Harper. Do you know what this is going to be for on your turkey? What's colorful and sticks out on the turkey? Sidra, do you know?
It's the body.
Not the body, but close. What's the colorful things that stick out of the turkey?
The wings.
Kind of. What's on
Feathers.
the wings? Feathers. It's going to be the feathers of the turkey. Remember, they come in many, many colors. So your fingers are going to be like the feathers. The body and the gobbler and the head, all those other things, we're going to do that later. I think tomorrow. If everything goes well today, we should be able to do that tomorrow. So we have about 15 minutes left. No hurry, okay? Don't rush, because you want this to be nice. I just finished. Now, I'm a little faster. I just finished my blue one. You're going to want to do one for every color. So I'm going to save my pink and my yellow one because I want to share that with group 2. I want to demonstrate it just like I did with you guys. You guys can go ahead and do all 4. And then the most important part, please make sure you put this back in your bag. Okay? So now I have my hands in my bag. It's kind of weird. And then these scraps, I'll leave it up to you. If you want to use them for another project, maybe you want to create something, maybe you're feeling crafty today, or you can recycle them because we will not need them for our project. They're just leftovers. I always like to keep a little scrap bin in case I'm working on something and I need a little scraps. So I have a scrap bin even in our classroom that we could use and add to. Hi, Haley! Did you have some technology issues, my friend?
Yes.
No big deal. I'm not sure how much you saw, but here's what we're doing, Haley. We're tracing our hand on the paper like this. You're going to use a pencil. And then when you're done tracing, you're going to cut them out, Haley, so that you can have a hand. And you're going to need to do that for all 4 colors. I like it, Alora. Nice job, you guys. So Mrs. Sampson has her red and her blue, but I still need to do my pink and my yellow. And I'll leave it up to you guys. If you want to hang out for another 15 minutes and keep working here together, just so we can be together, I can even turn on a little music if you want. Or you can leave the meeting and finish this on your own. Like Harper, you might want to leave the meeting because you're going to do it a little later. But what's going to happen is these are going to become the feathers of your turkey. It's going to be so cool. Super important. I'll remind this because Haley just joined us back. Haley, make sure your hands, when they're done, they go back in your bag. Do not lose your pieces. Sidra, do you have a question?
When you put like your hands in the bag, it looks like a zombie arms.
There's a zombie in your bag. Hi, Jada. You're a little early, sweetheart. Do you want to stay and hang out, or do you want to come back at 1:30? I can't hear you because of your microphone.
I'll come back out.
Yeah, you don't have to log in as early now that you have your hotspot. So just come back and even come back in like 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, see you soon. Or maybe I can find, hold on a second. I'm going to see if I can find something for you guys.